Hi everyone, I'm Prentis Rollins and welcome to lesson number 9 in my 10-part course on creating comics. In our last lesson, we did a thumbnail version of a Superman page that I thought could be improved. And we got started drawing the final version of the page at full size. Today, we're going to continue with the penciling process and get the page to the point where we're comfortable enough to start inking it. Every stage in the creation of a comics page is important, but penciling is particularly important because the penciler has to know storytelling, artistic anatomy, and he or she has to be really good at world building, at drawing great environments. And penciling is a very personal thing. How you do it is just a matter of your drawing style. This is a page of penciled comics by Dennis Cowan, an artist I've inked a great deal. Dennis's style is very loose, and if you're inking him, you have to work hard to fill in a lot of blanks. This is a page of comics art by Ethan Van Sciver, another penciler I've inked quite a bit. As you can see, Ethan's pencils are a lot more finished and extremely detailed. Ethan doesn't leave the inker much wiggle room for interpretation. Personally, I don't think it's necessary to go to this level of detail in the pencil stage. Here's a pencil page by the comics artist John Romita Jr. I really admire John's pencils for two reasons. His basic drawing and storytelling skills are just terrific, and I think he puts in just the right amount of detail for an inker to work with. The characters are pretty finished, but he leaves a lot of the backgrounds kind of unfinished, so the inker can really spread his or her wings and have some fun filling in the details. Anyway, we have a lot to accomplish in this lesson, so let's get right to it. All right, guys, welcome to today's demonstration. So this is the page that we were working on in the last lesson. As you can see, I have finished off these 3 panels and gotten them to a point where I would be comfortable to start inking them. I filled in Superman's iconic S logo on his chest, and I worked out some details of his face. In this panel in particular, he's basically, in these 3 panels, he's realizing that he needs to destroy this creature down here, okay? And in this one, he's really making the decision, and he's saying his line of dialogue is, "For the Justice League." So I wanted him to look particularly sort of angry and determined, and so I've got him gritting his teeth. And so now I'm just going to continue on penciling this panel. And we're going to see how much progress we can make in about 45 minutes. Just erasing the bit of panel border there that this hand is coming out of. Again, I've got him sort of breaking through the panel here. It's a little thing you can do now and then to really emphasize that something special is happening, or to create this dimensional effect. The character is coming towards us. Adding some shadow to these down planes of the curled fingers.
anytime you see me put down an X like that, that's a reminder for me to put black ink there when I'm at the inking stage. As you can see, Superman has it in his hair here. You see I'm putting these rendering lines. They both, but I'm curving them like this. And they amplify the fact that the light source is coming from above, for one thing, but also curving them like this helps to accentuate the form of the arms. Draw in his S logo. Bicep, right there. Deltoid muscle right there. a few things up. Now, let's see. This is the pit of Superman's neck right about there. Now if I draw a line kind of sweeping right across the middle of the pectoral, down the rib cage, that lets me know where to place these chest muscles that I discussed in one of the anatomy lessons. And they kind of interlock with ribs, making that form. I'm going to throw a shadow right in here. Adding some rendering here to give these things form. Indication of the rib cage. Accentuating these abdominal muscles. Superman is very powerful, very strong. Indicating the oblique muscles of the side of the abdomen. Kneecaps. Remember, this figure is severely foreshortened. He's receding into the distance, coming at us. And so these legs are getting smaller and smaller pretty quickly. Curving rendering lines again, accentuating the muscles of the thighs, the quadricep, which on Superman would be pretty powerful. Superman's cape comes out of his, the top part of his outfit, sort of like this. this panel, the dialogue bubble down here, in this panel number 3, he's saying for the League, meaning I'm going to do this for the Justice League. Down here he's saying for justice. Okay, so he's really full of anger and determination. I'm going to try to reflect that in his face. Eyeballs. These lines I'm putting right here are a good way. It's called the corrugator muscle. They're between the eyes, and they work when your eyes are becoming furrowed with anger or emotion. So you can kind of indicate them. Upper teeth, lower teeth. I don't want his teeth clenched here because I want to indicate that he's shouting, saying for justice. These lines on the side of the nose here going down are indicating that his mouth is open widely. Cheekbones. Adding some rendering to the large muscle on the side of the neck. Some shadow under the chin, rendering under the Adam's apple, and maybe a little in the pit of the neck. And I might even add some lines like this to indicate veins. When a character is shouting, stressed, sometimes those veins will sort of pop out on the side of the neck, and it's a good way of adding tension to the character's face. Shadow under the nose. Under the eye. Now I'm going to start to add some hair. Hairline. Okay, now let's work a little on this guy, our bad guy. He's a rock monster, so he's mainly going to be sort of plains. I'm just putting X's to indicate where to add black ink later on. Start sort of adding some chunks of flying rock and debris. This vanishing point. Don't need it now. X is here to indicate that I'll add black later shadow. Here. Now, I think to accentuate the fact that Superman is coming through the sky, I'm going to add, and these will really be apparent mainly in the inks, some speed lines. Speed lines, remember, are what you call a comic book convention. They're a conventional way of indicating that an object or a person is moving at tremendous speed. I'm not going to get too crazy involved in putting them in right now because I'll handle it in the inks phase. What you're doing in the pencil phase, remember, is you're basically just getting things to the point where you're comfortable enough to start inking, to start putting down India ink or marker. Now, in the original page, there was this tremendous energy burst. In fact, let me see if I can find it. Here it is. It's very, very powerful. In fact, the page is so much about this energy burst, and that was one of the things I wanted to get away from in redoing the page. I still want it to be in there. I just don't want it to dominate and monopolize the action. So these lines are my way of knowing that I'm going to use ink to put a burst. Burst, remember, is also what you would call a comic book convention. It's a conventional way of indicating the release of a massive amount of energy. Turning my page upside down. Another thing that was used, a special effect, if you want to call it that, is Kirby dots. Kirby dots they're called Kirby dots. I'll tell you why in a minute. Let me just show you what I... In the 1960s, two men, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, basically created single-handedly almost Fantastic Four, most of the characters in the Avengers, including Iron Man, the Hulk, many famous characters, and Jack Kirby also created many well-known famous characters for DC Comics. And Jack Kirby came up with this interesting way of representing energy. That's what I'm doing right now. It's these big dots and little dots kind of conjoined. And you see this effect all the time in American comics of the 1960s and onward, because it was adopted pretty quickly by a great many artists. It's an interesting way of representing energy, in particular, some kind of weird alien energy. So they too are another comic book convention, a conventional way of representing or rendering something, in this case, energy, in particular, strange energy of an alien, unknown nature. Superman is bursting through this rock monster, and in the process releasing a tremendous amount of this energy. Okay. I think it's looking pretty good. I am comfortable now at this stage of the page to begin inking it. But again, I just want to summarize, adding a few little rendering to those knuckles. Summarize what I've done here. I've broken. There was one panel in the original published page. I broke it into three to create a zoom in effect where you're getting closer and closer to Superman's face, thus heightening the tension and emotion as he's making this decision to destroy this monster. And I have flipped the action in this panel so that Superman is now coming towards us and he's moving from the lower left to the upper right. And in Western comics, at least, the eye tends naturally to move from left to right. I think in manga and Eastern comics, it's probably flipped. The eye tends to move from right to left. But in any case, I hope you see the point, which is that you want to take advantage of the way your reader is going to look at a page, okay? And I've given this panel, I think, a much more interesting and dynamic, composition. Superman is coming towards us. He's breaking the panel border with his fist, and he's kind of leaning in this direction. His opponent is leaning in this direction. That's creating a kind of balance. We've managed to retain the energy effect and burst in the background, but it no longer, dominates the panel entirely. So that brings us to the end of this demonstration and to the end of this lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about inking. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I certainly have, and I very much hope to see you in our 10th and final lesson. So until then, be well, keep on practicing, and bye-bye for now.